Okay, we're going to test out the GoSun Fusion's ability to heat and hopefully boil water. We'll see. I said it's a good test. We're at a little over 9,800 feet, so obviously there's some issues there. We have air temperatures about 28 degrees. Water, I don't know the temperature of the water, but I have a gallon of water here. We'll dump in. You just have the cooking tube on the Fusion. So to heat water, just pull the cooking tube out, or actually the cooking tray out of the tube. It looks like I can get, tilted up the way it is here. I have the little chit, and then so the cooking tray comes out. You have this cap that just goes on the end, and there we go. We'll see what. And right now it is 9:26 a.m. So got pretty good sunlight coming up. I've got it angled into the sun. Obviously that's going to be a bit of an issue as the sun moves. I'll come check it, and we'll see how long it takes to heat up, and hopefully we get get this gallon of water to boil. But that's going to be a definite test of the solar oven's ability, especially at this altitude and as cold as it is outside. So let's see what happens. Okay, back kind of checking on our water heating project. So I normally I have a thermometer that I drop in there to test the water temperature. Like I said before, I don't know the water temperature. Every time you come out and do these kind of things, you learn something else or realize something that you knew but forgot. And I had all my gearboxes outside last night. Obviously it was pretty cold and the batteries are dead. So lesson learned. Anyway, total time, it's 10:18 now. So we're at the point where the water is definitely warm to the touch. You could like to shower, rinse off, definitely, at that point, you wouldn't want it any hotter than what it is. Now, I did come back and look at it and test it and realize that because of the angle of the sun, I needed to lift it up. And so I changed the angle of the sun, and I did that. That's been half an hour ago. So when I started that first 25 minutes, I really didn't have a good angle at the sun. And I come back and put a log under the little stakes to hold this up to get more of a direct angle at the sun. And immediately, at that time, the water was still very cold to the touch. It felt like it hadn't warmed it at all. And so really in 30 minutes, it's gone from being cold water to the water now that definitely you could use for a shower, for washing. But let's just go along and see if we can get this water to boil. So again, total time about 50 minutes. Like I said, about half of that though, probably I didn't have it at a good angle. This is the first time I've actually used it and tested it for water. The only other thing I've done with it is cook, and it's a little bit different of a setup, but a good test. And so let's see where we're at to get this water to actually boil. Okay, we are, total time on this is just short of 2 hours, about an hour and 45 minutes. Again, 25 minutes of that I didn't have good angle on stove setup, but I've been starting to see, I don't know if you can see it on camera, you can see some steam coming out. Definitely we've got some water heating in here. This cap kind of where down the water's at. Kind of see the, hopefully you're seeing the steam coming off of that better. Definitely too hot. I mean, you can barely stick a finger in it. Definitely hotter than what you would want for a shower, or maybe, I mean, for like, you could use it to mix with some cold water for washing dishes, pots and pans, stuff like that. But definitely we've got some hot water brewing in the GoSun Fusion. You can see I kind of had to tilt it up on that log to had a better angle, just to get more of the oven at a better angle to the sun. Which that's a huge deal with whether you're cooking, heating water, is making sure that the angle to the sun is right. And the way that you know that is with this little sundial that comes on it right there. And you know, I'm just holding the camera off to the side so you can see it, but that sundial, it casts a shadow underneath that dot, and what you want is that the shadow to be right in the center of that dial. That tells you that you've got optimal angle to the sun, and then the best possibility for heating whatever it is inside. So again, not bad for using no fuel other than the sun. Yeah, I can use my jet boil and boil water in a matter of minutes. I can throw it on propane stove, boil water in minutes. But if I would need to heat water and don't have fuel, don't want to use fuel, it's not something that's really time sensitive, it's a great option. And again, I mean, we're heating a gallon of water for something, you know, if you wouldn't need to heat that much for a lot of uses, and so you would obviously cut down on time. But that's kind of weird, just kind of checking in with it, not boiling yet, but definitely have some steam brewing in there. Okay, it's been 2 hours, and since I adjusted it for the sun, so we're at more like 2.5 hours now. Still not boiling. I don't know if on camera you can see more steam. You can see the condensation there on the steam. Definitely feel the heat in my hand. But I am basically gonna call it, at this cold temperature, at this elevation, I did not get a gallon of water to boil, but definitely got it hot enough for a lot of different uses. So again, I was hoping to see it boil, but that's all right. Still super impressed with the oven, with its capabilities. I don't know if on camera, I got some good steam coming out of it now. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but definitely a great capability. No fuel, just the sun. Be able to heat up water or cook food. So right now I'm going to do the worst part of camping and clean up these dishes, but I've got hot water. I'm just going to drop that tube from the flow into the Fusion and pump some hot water into my sink over there for that nasty mess waiting for me. So anyway, good experiment. Now we know. I really think I'll do this again at a lower elevation. I think more typical of what I think this was kind of on the extreme end. Trying to boil water this high just in the solar oven. Again, up over 9,800 feet. So I think under most conditions we'd be able to do it, and I will try this again.